primary mission today is just to show everybody how to do a good skull cap. You know, one that's clean, one that would be CWD free, it would be legal to transport across Idaho and ready to give to your taxidermist. First thing you want to do is validate that tag. And remember, if you move the head from any carcass, you got to leave evidence of sex and evidence of species on that. We're going to do a couple of demonstrations here today. Again, this one is just for skull capping. We'll do some other ones how to boil a head. If you're just going to skull cap it, you can pull this hide off any way you want to do it, but you definitely want to skin it before you cut it, and it can go pretty quick. I'm going to demonstrate just a quick skin, like let's say if this was a full cape, we wanted to bring it to a taxidermist, the cuts you would make to bring that skull totally out of the animal. If you're going to do a full cape to a taxidermist, remember this would not do. You have to go about halfway through the animal, skin that out and bring it all the way forward, because it's very important on a taxidermy mount they get the full chest in there. And you want to make sure you've got good equipment. Very sharp knives is essential. Replaceable blade knives are very good but very dangerous. They're extremely sharp. You can cut your hide or cut your fingers pretty easy with these. Sharpened knives are probably just as good, if not better, but you got to be good at sharpening them. And you're going to need a meat saw, and we'll show you how to do that. We're doing this video mostly for chronic wasting disease, also known as CWD, and it's mostly found in the spine and in the brains of a big game animal. So we have laws in Idaho that you can't transport spinal material or brains, outside of a CWD unit. So now here's the meat and potatoes of cutting the skull plate off. Again, you want to keep your lines pretty straight, and the reason why you want them pretty straight is so either if you're going to mount it on a board yourself or screw it into the garage wall or actually put it on the head of a mounted deer, you want to have pretty straight lines. So if this works, you're going to kind of line your blade up just behind the eyes to make your initial cut. And once you do your initial cut it to just above the jawline. Then we're going to start right at the very tip of the skull. This can be a little tricky. So again, we took our saw, straight cut behind the eyes, then cut it level across here. I hit it a little deep, it's not a big deal. But again, we're trying to make this chronic wasting disease legal for our chronic wasting disease units. The skull part has got to stay in the field or dispose of it properly in a dumpster. And it says, free of brain material and dried is what the law says. So I'm going to clean this out and I'm going to cut all this meat off it. We got that skull cap off of the skull. I did trim it up a little bit, and you should do the same. And that would be ready to go to transport across Idaho as CWD free as we can get it.